on many hands tonight. Those that incited violence on the street under the guise of protest, that tried to tear down what New York City police officers did every day. We tried to warn, it must not go on, it cannot be tolerated. That blood on the hands starts on the steps of City Hall in the office of the mayor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, on Saturday night, Pat Lynch. Joining us now is the CEO of Brand Bounce, Martha Pease. Hello, Martha.
Hello.
Tell everybody what Brand Bounce is all about, first of all.
Well, Brand Bounce is actually the blog site. It's our content site for our company, which is called DemandWorks. And DemandWorks is a thought leadership company that works with businesses to help them develop marketing strategies that are really in tune with where consumers are, where perceptions are, where needs are, to make sure that what people actually make from a company aligns with what people want.
Well, we're going to get to Sony if we have time at the end here
Yeah.
and talk about them. But let's talk about, imagining that City Hall is a company. The police in New York City are a company. What riled up Pat Lynch here, aside from the assassinations, was we had a mayor who stood next to his police commissioner and said that his police force was racist, has been for decades, and that he's afraid his own black son is going to be harmed by his own police force, which I've never heard anything like that in my life. So how does de Blasio walk that back, take that back, proceed to mend the fences here?
Well, you can't, if you're a company or an individual, it's very difficult to walk back something that you've said. The issue going forward is, really what was a strength for de Blasio in getting elected, which was being the outsider and having a perspective from the perspective, a point of view from the perspective of folks who felt like they were on the outside and not participating in all the success that was happening in the city. What was a strength in getting him elected is now a weakness in governing. And he really needs to expand his circle of empathy. I think he has the possibility to be an empathetic brand, for example, if you want to put it in terms of brand. I think he has the possibility, actually, in ways that other mayors have not, to reach across lines that have been dividing lines and to bring people together. Now, how do you do that? I think you bring the same level of empathy to the insiders inside of an institution as you do to the outsiders, and we can talk more about that. But I think it's an issue of leadership rather than walking back.
Yeah, and in the days since, he had the press conference yesterday and wound up attacking a media representative, a reporter, who asked him about the protesters who throw fake blood at the cops, bash the cops, throw trash cans at the cops, and chant KKK, NYPD, and chant, what do we want, dead cops, when do we want them now? And he blew up, and he said, that's only a small percentage, and blah, 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 and you're the enablers. And I mean, I don't think that served him too well.
Well, I would agree with you. I think that didn't serve him too well, and I have maintained since this happened this weekend that really what he needs to do over the coming week through these funerals is to stay quiet, is to keep a fairly low profile, to support the families, to obviously support the police, and to move through this period where we're all mourning. I mean, this has been a terrible event for the city. I've never seen anything quite as divisive as the whole series of events that have been unfolding over the past few weeks. And I think his short-term job is to stay quiet and move through this with some degree of equilibrium. And after that, begin, I think, the healing process, which should start with hearing a wide range of diverse opinions, both inside and outside of the institutions in New York, and start to really open up the conversation and the dialogue, which will ultimately be, I think, one of the key ways that you bring people together.
While we put your website up on the screen, I understand we have it. Quickly, we have less than a minute. Sony, good move now that they're changing their tune. Actually, they still claim that it was the theaters who didn't want to show it because of the threats, and now they found independent theaters to show it on Christmas.
Right. Well, the theaters don't work for Sony. Sony's absolutely right. However, Sony was, I would say, right off the bat, grievously mistaken to cave the way they did. And I think now that they've come back a bit and in making the film available, have allowed third parties to make the decision on whether or not they want to handle it.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
You.
Thanks for coming, Martha Pease. And we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, with Gimme 5. Don't go away.